Okay. Hi, everybody. So, I'm just going to adjust everybody a little bit. So, today, I hope the lighting and everything, it looks, and there goes my phone. Always without a doubt. It'll always go off whenever I try to do this. Um, okay, there we are. Sorry, I completely forgot what we were um, but yeah, and of course there are some empty spaces you can right there. Because a couple of the books I did actually put up, and I needed to bring them down. Um, and of course, at the end of this, you guys will actually get to see me put the books into the bookshelf and just be added to the collection. So today we are literally on a time limit. There's a winter storm currently outside, so I am going to do my best and go over, I think, what, 5 books? Looks like there's just 5 books. And just do a quick review, talk about them. So that gives each book a max of a couple minutes. So without any hesitation and everything, what are we drinking today in my Golden Girls cup? Ooh, that smells nice. I have peppermint tea. So I have that. I'm going to try and adjust the exposure. I feel. There we go. I felt like you guys, it was just so bright, and I don't know why. um, but yeah. Um, so let's go ahead and have a drink, and we'll get started. Delicious. Um, okay, so I guess now this past semester I had 5 classes. Only 3 of them actually had textbooks. There was a book that ended up being recommended, but we never actually read it. So that's pretty much how it's going to be set up. The classes I didn't have textbooks for was advanced fiction writing, and my I think that was the only one actually. Am I wrong? Yeah, so I think that that's the only one. I also had creative nonfiction. Now, what did that book end up doing, or that class? So there actually was a book that was recommended. It is H is for Hawk, which is by Helen MacDonald. I didn't read it. I got it because it was a book that we ended up getting recommended. So that's going back on the shelf, and it's something that I have to read. But from what I remember being talked about in class, it's all about MacDonald's dealings with after her father passes away and how she kind of copes with it. And what she ends up doing is, her way of understanding grief and stuff like that comes in the form of training hawks and stuff like that. I don't remember very much more of the book, so of course, as I read it, I'll post it on here. The next 3 classes, they all had textbooks in varying varieties. This coming semester, I'm actually going to have a class that the professor is going to both have textbooks, plus, this is for the Lolita class. Literally, she also will print out something like that where everything is in that form. But, so, the next class, I guess we'll just stick with the writing classes. Both the fiction and the advanced fiction and the creative nonfiction were writing classes. We just wrote stuff. So this one is by Denez Smith, Don't Call Us Dead, which is their book of poetry. And of course, I, like all good English majors, have written in the book and everything. I do have to say that Denez Smith actually came to campus, and I actually, you might be able to mirror it or flip it on your side, but I actually got to have them sign my book, which it says, Kelsey, be dangerous to all that endangers you. And so I was excited. I was so happy when I got this. But it's a very good book. It talks about, or the poetry really um, goes over like a lot of stuff. They are a queer person of color. They're HIV positive, stuff like that, and so that's discussed in the book. It's something that is brought up in the book, and so that's what a lot of that covers. Everything from LGBTQ plus whatever stuff, as well as stuff relating to HIV, stuff relating to police violence, the black community, stuff like that. So it's a very interesting book of poetry, and so I recommend it. This book, which is A Poet's Companion by Kim Aldonzo and Darini Lukes, I believe down there's their names. But this is what the book looks like. It's literally just an entire book about, and they're short chapters about how to write poetry, different things. And for me, it was very interesting. Granted, it could be used to teach kids how to write poetry, but it also is not. Some of the poems that they have in it are a bit gruesome. So my heaviest recommendation is that if you are gonna use it sparingly. But it was a very interesting book, a guide to the pleasures of writing poetry. It was very good. In fact, let me see if I can find it. Because we had to write poems about. Probably won't be able to find it because I'm not that cool. um, One of the poems we had to recite in class. I won't read it out loud, but if I can find it, I will be so happy. Okay. Yes, okay. Um, this poem is by Sharon Olds, Olds, and it's called First Sex. It was one of the poems I read. I don't know if it's going to focus. Probably not. Um, but that was one of the poems I had to do. The other one was actually by Andrea Gibson, um, which I loved. I thought it was great. It was. I think that this one I very much cheated because it was like, yes, it's it's Diagnosis, which is hilarious. I thought it was hilarious, and it's so much. It's extremely short. It's literally 5 lines. Um, this was not a book that was designated for that class, but I had a lot of fun creating poetry and stuff like that. And one day, when I get smart enough or whatever, I'll post a thing about that. But Diagnosis. I suffer from the unrequited self-love. I love myself, but I don't love myself back. I love that poem. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Um, After I give you guys a major earthquake, the next one is the Broadview Anthology of British Literature, the medieval period. And of course, if you don't get the glare, it's not quite so bad. I have the first edition. For the class, we were supposed to have the third, so I kind of struggled in periods because some of the stuff wasn't transferred over for both of them. But can't win them all. All right. And the last book is an African American poetry 250 Years of Struggle and Song. Kevin Young was the editor, and it's a anthology that was backed by the Library of American Anthologies in the U.S. Congress, or the Library of Congress. Once again, it was quite interesting. That was for my African American class. This was for my medieval literature class. And of course, I hope that you understood that the 2 poetry books and the extra thing was for my poetry class. This was my African American literature class. Was absolutely interesting. There were plenty of people I knew just because of different things. There were also plenty of people I didn't. And it's an anthology. It's thick. Like, that's me pinching it, and it's still awfully thick. But it was worth reading, investigating, stuff like that. And it's very much the same as the other poetry books. I have written in this book, which is nothing unusual. I have a friend that doesn't like getting books for me because I write in them. So she usually, if I get her something, I always get her own copy. That way I do not write in hers. So, but that's all the books I actually read and or semi-read for the class. But so we'll go ahead, put them up, and I guess that'll be the closing of this chapter for my semester. I still have to go through all the paperwork I had from that class. I usually try to go through it, throw away the stuff I don't like, don't think is necessary, and I'll keep the rest. And so I currently have like 3 or 4 huge binders, 4-inch binders, that are filled with past classes. So yeah. So I'm gonna slide. See how I can do this without tearing the world apart. Might slide those over. And then everybody will just slide over there. So African American poetry we put there. The medieval literature we slotted in right here. Oh, throwing everybody. Put those there. And just gonna tighten these all up in here. And then my books of poetry, we will just slide June's in here. The Poet's Companion, just put in here. Ah, good, they do. And H is for Hawk. Just slid in right there. So that's really all that I had. Like I said, I promised to do this, but my alarm is about to go off, so I have to go get ready and head out. But I do hope you guys do well, and I hope that because this is going to come out next week. Currently, it is the 16th, so I'll release this then. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and that from the bottom of my heart, you guys just have a wonderful time, and I hope that your day is filled with peace, love, and joy.